camp they've called home for 60 days. We have live team coverage from every angle. And we begin with KCAL9's Juan Fernandez, who is live inside the encampment. Juan, what's going on out there?
Well, Rick, Sharon, we're actually on the corner of Main Street and First right now, and a large number of protesters have actually come out to the corner here, all in anticipation of what's going to be happening over the next few minutes or so. Let me show you down the street here as well. You can see that Main Street that runs right in front of police headquarters there right now has been shut down to traffic. And in fact, some of the protesters telling me that police have already set up a perimeter around this area. Any protester who wants to get out of here and leave, they're welcome to do so, but definitely they're not allowed to come back in. And as you can see here, they've each actually taken some of their encampment materials here, the structure out here, onto the corner. They're riding on the sidewalks. And right now, what you see here is a large group of the lawyers group as well out here to basically support.
We seem to have lost Juan Fernandez's signal, but we do have, as we told you, reporters all over this. And why don't we go to downtown, where Jeff Nguyen, who is standing right in the middle of all of this.
So, you know, I can tell you that basically everybody here knows something is going to happen. We're on the south side of City Hall, and as you can see, there are a couple of police officers behind us. There are two more behind the glass door. But what's really telling about what may happen, if you can take a walk with me, is that you will see a number of people behind us, and they are wearing these pink T-shirts. They are calling themselves peacekeepers, and some of them are instructors and students and graduates of Occidental College. And their goal is to basically come between the police officers and the protesters in case things escalate. Their goal is to basically calm down protesters who may be hysterical, who may be panicking. And so they want to try to calm those people down so that things don't get violent. We've been showing you the scene all night, and if I may, we're going to walk over here, if you can just be patient with us, and you can see just how big this crowd is. You know, as the night has gone on, to be honest with you, the crowd has grown. Earlier, we basically showed you the center of the plaza where most of the people gathered, and now some of that crowd has spread out onto Main Street. So it's basically increased by about 30–40% or so, and there are a number of people still at the center. They are chanting. They are basically giving instructions. The people that are giving instructions, they will chant out, and then people will chant back those instructions, because the goal is to basically police the police. That's what they want to do. If people get arrested, they want to write down those individuals' names and numbers.
All
right. Having some problems with the Jeff signal. This, by the way, is an ongoing situation. It is picking up some steam as LAPD officers are set to move in on Occupy LA protesters. We have crews all over the place, but we are going to be expecting some technical issues with, of course, cables and our trucks and everything with all the people around there. KCAL9 Serene Branson continues our live team coverage from City Hall.
Now, Serene, some protesters apparently packed up and left camp tonight, but others determined to ride this one out, even if it means going to jail.
Well, we've only seen a few of the demonstrators pack up their things and leave for the night. A number of them have actually moved their tents and their sleeping bags from this side. We're actually on the east side of City Hall at Main and Temple to the west steps, actually on the other side where most of the activity is, where Juan Fernandez and Jeff Nguyen have been. You've seen a lot of the activity over there. So a lot of the folks have packed up their things and moved over there. But we have seen actually coming in on Temple here a number of people who have been just part of this movement, who are not necessarily camping out here at City Hall anymore, but part of the movement coming down here because they want to be a part of this, the cause that they've been fighting for. At this point, I want to bring in Bradley. He's one of the organizers of Occupy Los Angeles. Why are you here tonight, Bradley?
Well, I'm pretty much here just to provide a little bit of media support and just make sure that, you know, the police don't overstep their bounds and become violent or use excessive force.
And you were telling me that you're actually kind of glad that this is coming to an end in a certain way, because you said, the land is irrelevant?
Well, I think people are too focused on the land, some people. The thing is, I don't think people understand that movements last years, and, you know, we've got a lot of work to do, and we just don't need to be sitting here worrying about camp issues and holding the land when we've got a major movement to build.
How are most people planning to respond to police tonight if they do move in?
Non-violently.
Great. Thank you so much, Bradley, for taking the time to speak with us. Stay safe out here tonight. So, again, a lot of the demonstrators making their way to the west steps of City Hall, but we are awaiting LAPD officers to make their way into the City Hall area tonight. That's the latest from the east side of City Hall. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Serene. Hundreds of LAPD officers gathered at Dodger Stadium tonight to load up on city buses and move on out toward downtown.
Oh, Rick, that's right. We're here live outside Dodger Stadium, which has become a staging area for the LAPD. At around 7 o'clock, police started gathering here, driving in their police cars, and we saw them leaving in those large metro buses. Around 9:43, buses left this area, and just about a minute ago, those buses were, by the way, full of police in full gear. Just about 1 minute ago, 2 buses came back empty, so I can only assume that the police are now in place around the south lawn of City Hall, getting ready to do the takedown operation. Now, exactly how that's going to go down, we're not sure, and we're not sure if they're planning to bring back people when they make arrests on the south lawn, bring them back here to the staging area to be processed. But what we can tell you, and I think it's very fair to say, that this has been a very large and very methodical operation by the LAPD. They have made points time and time again that they do not want to see violence. Everyone does seem to be in agreement that they would like this to go down peacefully. So they are taking their time. They did give the deadline for 12:01 Monday morning, and now here we are. It's been 59 days. It's Tuesday night, and they are carrying through. Many of the activists who were there Monday morning have now left, so there isn't as large of a presence. What I understand now from the activists that I talked to is a lot of the people who are left are either homeless, have nowhere else to go, or people who have been organizing because of the social network explosion of this. They've been tweeting about it, and they want to be part of this event and are looking actually for a confrontation. And many of them are ready, tweeting, to have their camera phones ready. So not only do the police have the eyes and ears of the world on them through the media, through us, but it's also through every person who is there on the south lawn of City Hall with their own cell phone cameras, trying to be part of this really historical event in the city of Los Angeles. So really, I think Los Angeles has done a very good job in trying to protect the safety of every citizen, including those who are on the south lawn right now. And we'll have to see how this progresses and if they can avoid the confrontations that seem to be pending regardless of this very methodical approach. They really don't want to see what happened in other parts of the country happen here. So moment by moment, we are watching, as are all the citizens on the South Lawn and members of Occupy LA and homeless who are there and trying to find out where they'll go next. Reporting live from outside Dodger Stadium, where police are still coming in. If you look over here, you can see a police car just on its way in right now. We understand there are more buses inside, so we'll just have to see how this plays out. And that's the latest from here. Reporting live, I'm Stephanie Abrams. Back to you.
Stephanie, do you have any idea, from what we saw from the helicopter and Stu Mundell shot, there were a lot of units or buses carrying a lot of uniformed police officers. Do you have any idea how many buses are rolling into the encampment tonight?
Well, unfortunately, I can't answer that question. I only saw 3 buses coming out, and then I saw 2 buses coming back in. So I'm not sure if those were buses that delivered police officers over there or if those are new buses that are coming back in. I had heard rumors of more than 20 buses, but then again, those are just rumors, and speculation is only that. So
right.
I can't give you a really good answer on that, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
Good point. Thank you, Stephanie. We're going to take you back to Juan Fernandez, who's at the southwest corner of the encampment tonight. Juan, you've been there pretty much all night long. What can you tell us now?
Well, Sharon, Main and First, and we're definitely seeing a lot more of activity here at the corner near City Hall. In fact, we do see quite a bit of police presence now moving into the area. We do see the police chopper up ahead, and a lot of protesters here, very defined. As we mentioned earlier, at the midnight 12:01 deadline, a lot of protesters did leave, but there's still those diehards that stayed here. And we just met a guy named here. His name is Jeff. Jeff, this is your first night, your first time here at Occupy. What brought you out here? Why is it important to you?
Honestly, I basically got out here because I opened my eyes. I went on the internet. I checked up the Illuminati. I checked up the Masons. I checked up the Rockefellers, the 99%. You know, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Rothschilds. They're the owners of the world.
Now, are you willing to get arrested for all this? Or
I am willing to get arrested for this. I'm willing to stand up. If we don't get arrested for this, if we're not willing to get arrested for this, then we're not willing to stand up for what we believe in. in, and that's what we believe in. So we're ready to occupy LA and we're ready to stay.
All right, very well. Thank you very much, Jeff. We've seen people from Occupy San Diego out here as well, actually instructing these folks how to handle it once police move in. They say if you do want to get arrested, just put your hands out and let them take you. It's a very important cause for them right now. And you can see here they're starting to chant behind me here. We are the 99%, and this has been the central issue here all week long for so many weeks out here. And many folks, as you see here, aren't planning on leaving. And again, we are just waiting for police to make their move. They have closed down the street right in front of Main Street and First. They're allowing people to leave the perimeter, but you sure can't come back. So that's the very latest right now. We're waiting for police to move in and see what happens next. These folks still saying that they are going to stay peaceful and nonviolent, and that's what everyone is hoping for. Reporting live from downtown LA, Juan Fernandez, KCAL 9 News.
Hey, Juan, have you had a chance to get a sense of how many people are from somewhere else besides Los Angeles? We know that a lot of the Occupy LA folks did leave the area, and the few that are behind, we've seen some interviews earlier with some of our reporters. What's your take on how many people we have here that are not from the area?
Yeah, that's right, Rick. In fact, at the height of it, it was estimated that about 498 tents, so about 500 tents, were here around City Hall. And when the 12:01 deadline on Monday morning happened, they're saying about half of the people took off. And right now, we're seeing about a few hundred people out here, and several support groups, like as you mentioned, Occupy San Diego and other groups have come out here to lend their support. Some of them willing to get arrested, others saying once they do see police move into the area, they're going to go ahead and scatter. And in fact, several of the folks within the organization have already volunteered to get arrested for this cause. So we're going to see what happens. So far, it's a calm crowd. They're standing by, waiting to see what's going to happen next, and we'll see what happens.
Juan, we had learned that what had sparked this original eviction was that Mayor Villaraigosa had learned that a number of children were actually staying at these encampments, and he was concerned, and therefore he decided to say, let's move the Occupy LA people out of there.
There's no children there.
Okay, Sharon, I just heard some sound here, and I was a little concerned. It's actually firecrackers that protesters are, not firecrackers, fireworks that protesters are starting to launch here from the corner of Main Street and First. Now, you were mentioning about children as we see this display here. I did see a woman with a very small infant in her hands yesterday, and I asked her why she was out here, and she said it was a cause that was important to her, and she wanted her children to see what was going on and to learn from what was happening here in Los Angeles. I'm starting to see more and more people move into the streets as these fireworks are being let off here. Quite a vocal crowd, a very energetic crowd. Robert, let's pan just behind you here. You can see now on Main Street, quite a few people have moved into the street. So those firecrackers definitely awakening this crowd that have stayed pretty calm and pretty quiet over the last few hours or so as we've been broadcasting here on KCAL 9.
Do you get a sense of that crowd is more positive than angry?
You know what, Sharon, we see a little bit of everything. We see people who are very positive, that are glad to see us here, to show these images, to put these images out to everyone. And then there are those who aren't very happy that we're here and that are pretty negative. And we've had a taste of a little bit of everything. But I would say the majority of the folks that are out here, they're very passionate for the cause of Occupy LA, and they want that message to be brought out. And many people are saying once this is over, once this encampment is over, phase 2 is going to begin, and that's to take that message all across the United States, and eventually maybe this spring end up in Washington, D.C., with all the Occupies all across the country convening there. So a very positive group out here tonight, waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Hey, Juan, the police did mention that there would be a fair warning for these folks. And has there been any kind of an official warning extended to those who are basically the leaders or spokespeople for Occupy LA?
You know what? They've been pretty well informed. In fact, they've been following several tweets